O great Spirit, whose voice I hear in the wind, whose breath gives life to all the world, hear me. I am a child before you, one of your many creations. I am small and weak. I need your strength and wisdom to help me walk in beauty. Make my eyes forever behold the red and purple sunset. Make me wise so I may understand the lessons you have hidden in every leaf and rock. I seek strength, not to be greater than my brother or my sister, but to fight my greatest enemy, myself. Help me to come to you with clean hands and straight eyes, so when life fades with the fading sunset, my spirit may come to you without shame. Living in ceremony is one term that I've heard. I've also heard living a red road, and it was something that that I took upon myself many years ago. I got into a car accident when I was probably about 18 years old, and I was hit by a drunk driver. And as I sat in the emergency room, there is a point in my life that I call turning points, when you realize things in your life. And at that point, I realized what kind of life I wanted to live. I wanted to try to live as good of a life as I could by living the red road. And a part of that was connecting myself spiritually. So going to ceremony, praying often as much as I could, smudging, just living that life. Because I think that, ceremony is not just when you go to ceremony, it's how you take care of yourself, how you project your energy on others. So really recognizing and becoming aware of who you are, becoming aware of different different teachings that are given to you. You could go in, you could do all these things in public, but the biggest thing is you need to do it in private too. How do you take care of yourself privately, and live that ceremony? How do you live that ceremony every day? And sometimes it's really hard, but that ceremony is a part of your ritual, a part of what you do every day, how you take care of yourself, how you carry yourself, how you connect with others and the relationships around you. How I take care of myself, my mental wellness, is actually through the medicine wheel. I always look at my emotional, mental, physical, and spiritual being, and I really try to balance that. And I know that it's really hard in day-to-day situations to be able to go through life sometimes. So when I look at the medicine wheel, I think about those different aspects that I need to balance within myself. Some of the things that I do every day is I wake up and I smudge. And when I smudge, I thank Creator for giving me another day. Even if it's going to be a hard day, if it's going to be a hard day, to be with me, to walk with me. I do some journaling after I do my medicine, or after I do my smudging, and I journal and I think about all the things that I'm grateful for. I think even if they're just little things like being able to walk, or being able to take that first breath of air when you wake up, and I think when I go through those things, it really helps me to feel grounded, to feel myself. But there's other things that I also do. I try to be physical as much as I can. So I try to do yoga in the morning, and I also practice powwow dancing at least 2 or 3 times a week, just to keep my cardio up and really connect with nature. I really love connecting with nature. I think that when I'm going through a lot with my mental wellness, that's something that really helps me get my thoughts together. It's just going for a walk in nature, breathing in that fresh air, connecting to the land, connecting to the water. If I have an opportunity to go to the mountains or, different places that make me feel grounded or feel at peace. When we look at the medicine wheel, even though we have that emotional, mental, physical, and spiritual, they're all included in our mental wellness. I think that it's really important that we reach out for help, and sometimes our friends and family don't have the expertise or knowledge to help us. So, there are other resources out there to help support us, whether it's therapists or the Kids Help Phone. I think that those are really valuable resources, and sometimes when we're going through those dark times, we might feel ashamed to reach out to our friends and family, or we might not want to feel like a burden to them. And these other resources are there for us because they give us those opportunities to share our feelings. And that was one of the things that I realized, is that in order for us to heal, we have to feel. And sometimes we don't know how to take those feelings or those emotions. So going to outside resources like the Kids Help Phone or therapists or even, elders, I think that it's really important because they have something that they could share with us that we might not think about. They might share with us different strategies or different ways of looking at our time, what we're going through, and really start to look at how we can move past that, how we could feel better about what we're going through. When we're going through those thoughts of suicide and we think that we're not worthy or we don't belong here, or whatever the thoughts are, it's important to talk to somebody. And I know that it's really hard in those times because you don't want to reach out, but those are the times that I think that we need to reach out the most. To find someone, a mentor that takes care of you, that listens to you, that has that empathy is really important. You're not just taking, but you're giving. That reciprocity is really important. And I think that it helps us because when we hear from other people, they might have gone through a similar situation. So they make us feel like it's okay. They might have experienced something similar. So they have advice to give us. And I think that that's really important when we find those mentors, to know that they could be trusting and reliable, and know that they're humans as well, like they go through their own things too. So to be there for them too. I think words are really powerful. When we say words, sometimes it damages our spirits and it creates sickness within ourselves. And we continue to hold that within ourselves. And if we don't fully deal with it, it eventually comes out in different ways. One of the biggest things that I realize is that we need to deal with that. We need to deal with those pains, those traumas that we don't even realize that we face in everyday life, from either bullying or from just negativity, whether it's a fight with your friends or your spouse or your family or your parents, whoever it is. Those words become power, and if we attach to them, they could become sickness. So it's really important that we talk about it. We allow it to leave our body, to let it go. And by doing different things like journaling, doing different arts like dancing or music, or maybe it's even just, maybe you're really into physical things, so maybe it's working out, something that makes your soul really feel good. But allowing those words to leave you is really important, because if we don't, then we get sick from them, and it just continues on in our life if we don't deal with it. And that's something that I really realized as I get older, is that we need to really take those words and just let them go, and allow positive words to come inside and stay with us, and really feed ourselves as well. I think that that's really important, that we feed ourselves good words, because what we tell ourselves is so much more important than what others tell us. We have to tell ourselves those good things so that we could feel good and be good. It's really important to help give back to others. That was something that my parents taught me right from when I was younger, is when you graduate from school, whatever you do, always remember that you need to give back to your community, because your community is always there for you. They help raise you. And so how are you going to help the next generation? How are you going to help all those people that looking up to you, like your nieces and nephews, and other people in the community? And it's always been really important to me to be able to give back in some way. I now sit on the World Board for YWCA as a vice president, advocating for Indigenous women and girls. A part of that is advocating about the injustices that our women and girls go through, and it's not just our women and girls. It's our people, our Indigenous people. So I've been advocating for missing and murdered Indigenous women, girls, Two-Spirit, non-binary for a long time. And in the past decade, it has kind of grown into our people, because it has affected the men in our communities too, the men and the boys in our communities, and especially with my family. A lot of the advocating I do is to bring awareness to what's going on in our communities, to what's going on in society. And I feel very passionate about this topic, because I know that so many people have been impacted by it. For me, like whenever I do any of the community things, it's so that our future generations don't have to go through some of the injustices our people have had to face. I get overwhelmed with, like, sometimes with what I'm still advocating for, and talking to my mom and talking to my aunties and my grandma, and I think about like this whole topic around missing and murdered Indigenous people. It started right from the beginning, when the settlers came here, and just that whole thought process at that time, the way that people thought at that time, and how it has perpetuated into what we're facing today. And I think that the more awareness we bring, the more people are going to start waking up. But also to have programs out there, to have different kinds of opportunities for people to heal, to deal with the anger, because sometimes the violence is a continual cycle. So how do we end that cycle, so that we could create healing within all of our communities? Because it's not an Indigenous problem. It's a Canadian problem that this is happening. And when you go around the globe, you see it happening to Indigenous people all over the world. So how could we stop this injustice? And I think that that's something that really drives me, is trying to always find people that want to work together so that we could stop what's happening in our world today, so that we could be so we could live in a peaceful and harmonious life and community. I want to share with you that you are very loved and you are worthy, and you come from a long line of ancestors that are standing behind you. Even when you feel like you're alone, they're with you. And know that anything that you do in this life is possible to achieve whatever goal you want. Just take one step at a time and know that there are so many people that love you, that care for you, and that are here for you. Know that you're not alone, that there's so many people out there. And when you feel like giving up, don't give up, because there's so many people that love you and support you and want you to go on. And I'm one of those people. And I want to know that I love you very much, and I know that you're going to do amazing things in this world. And know that you are strong, you are beautiful, and you are resilient.